Hey guys, so I just want to do a little video for you guys. I have my tea and whatnot. It's really hot. I just walked my dog and all that. So yeah, it's just really hot, so I'm sweating a bit. But yeah, I want to go and talk to you guys about my experience so far for entrepreneurship and just talking about what's been going on in my head and all that, and just reconsidering some things. So I'm going to go and talk about unicorn magic organizing, which I have mentioned a lot about this channel and on TikTok. And I just want to go over some things that I've been thinking a lot lately. So when it comes to organizing and cleaning, it takes a long time. I am by myself, and I do not have the finances currently to go and hire someone to help me with all of the things that need to be done. And I know all of the things that need to be done to make a business be successful. And all these jobs take a very long time. Like, your average is about 4 to 8 to 10 hours, or sometimes 12. It just really depends. And when I'm on my own, it just is so limiting and very tiring. I feel very tired after these jobs, and then I'll go and not want to do anything the next day because I'm just too exhausted to do anything, because it's just very labor intensive. And so I've been just reconsidering about doing this and all that. And, I've thought a lot on how passionate I am with this concept of solving people's problems by organizing. And I know it's effective because I've done this 3 times over and I was highly successful. So I did it in the Houston area, and I had a bunch of clients, and I was following my methods, and it was working very well, and I was making a lot of money. Then I went and moved to Midland, and I was doing the same thing. And I thought it was like a luck thing at the very beginning, but then it was working on the people of Midland, and I was making a lot. And I went and ran into certain people, and there were times where I would question myself, and so I would get all angry. And then I went and left this town thinking that my methods didn't work, even though they were, because I got a bunch of text messages saying they wanted me to come back, the clients. And so then I went and came back, and I did my methods again in the Houston area. And I was pretty successful. The problem was that there was someone in my life that was very needy, and they wanted me to do this or that for them. And so I would help them out, and then my clients would get frustrated with me that I wasn't available plenty of times for them. And so I kind of stopped. And then since I knew that I was successful 3 times over, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a business, because I know this can be successful, this method, and, solving people's problems by organizing, and my psychology skills. And I wasn't telling people in my head that I was doing this. And so they were meeting their goals, but they wouldn't know till after. And they would be surprised that they did it, because I did psychology on them. I was very intentional on where to put certain items, and what to, how the certain actions that they need to do to get there. So for an example, if my client has money problems, then I knew the issue was abundance. They didn't have an abundance mindset. And so I would go and use my psychology skills to implement abundance into their home, and that way they would increase their income. So for an example is that abundance mindset is more like practicing gratitude. So I would leave out like a journal for them, or if they have like if they have any kind of like gratitude journals or something that they forgot or whatever in their drawer that I went and organized, and I would like put that out, or certain like quotes or certain like pictures that have quotes that had to do with being being grateful for things. So I would put it next to their like table or something, or a prayer next there, depending on if they're like religious. And then I would have them practice like certain like bed routines and all that. Like when they would go to bed, I would go and lay out certain like meditation things for them, or books, things to calm them down before they go to bed. And I was very intentional on where I put things. And so then they were meeting their goal of, when they didn't even specifically tell me that they went and had the money problems, but I could just sense it. And like I told you guys, I can sense what people really want out of life. It just is something that I'm very in tune with. And so I use that to go and implement it into the organizing job. And so my clients were making more money because of these tactics, for an example. And then if my client wanted to go back in the dating scene, then I would use my psychology skills in it. So for an example, they weren't taking care of themselves, so I would go and intentionally put certain like bath items out for them so they would take a bath. It would go and encourage them to take a bath. Or for an example, if my client wanted to go on a date, then I would go and so when you go on a date, if you're wearing like something textured, and if you like accidentally like rub their skin by accident with your shirt, like for an example, this is textured, then more likely they will remember you, is my thought process. And it does work. So if it was like something fuzzy, then it would remind them of a certain thing that they love. Possibly it could be like an animal or another shirt or something like a good feeling. And so I would go and do that. Or if they would bring someone over, then I would make it into a positive experience if they brought their date over. So for an example, like games out, I would put out certain games that would increase the heart rate, and I would put it intentionally to the point like you could see it plainly, and it would encourage my client and their date to go and play these games to increase the heart rate, so that way they are more memorable. Because if you want to be memorable, you got to increase the heart rate. And psychologically, that's just how we humans are. To remember things is by certain things that have to increase the heart rate. So it's just that way. We just seem to remember things more when it comes to that. And then when it comes to including the 5 senses, which is taste, smell, hear, touch, and that really goes, if you implement all the 5 senses in the organizing job, then it will make it'll make them feel more like I'll be remembered, and if they bring their date, they are more memorable. It's a more positive experience. And so this is kind of what I do. And, I felt very passionate in this because I know how effective this is. And I didn't tell my clients that I was using my psychology skills. And, it was happening and all that. And they were amazed. And so they would pay me a lot. And so I was doing this, and, I'm doing these jobs on my own. And I already done it, but I guess I I really didn't realize on how much work it's going to be, because, you know, I was having to do social media and then do all the organizing, cleaning jobs, and a lot of people are asking for premium cleans, and premium cleans are the hardest jobs that you can do in the cleaning world, and doing it by yourself is very difficult, because a lot of cleaning companies will have, like, you know, 3 or 4 people working on the same job at the same time, and so it's just hard to do on my own. And so these jobs would take 10 to 12 hours, and I don't have the finances currently to go and hire 3 or 4 people to help me with this. And so I feel very burnt out from all of this, you know, doing the connections, the social media, the booth, the sales door to door. It's so hot out there that I was dropping off my cards and I just felt way too hot, just like going from each door and then like waiting for it was just too much for me. And yeah, I just you know, I really pushed trying to keep Unicorn Magic going, and it was just very difficult because, you know, I was seeing the charges for the what was it? It was for my insurance and then for my like the special payment thing. So if you like take card and all that, and it was just really stressing me out because I was just seeing the charges, and I paid for all of the supplies because I needed to provide the supplies, and it was just yeah, it was just a lot. So basically the whole amount that I've spent for like getting this up and running is probably like most likely at this point 10 grand. And the amount that I've gotten back is very little because I am by myself. And you know, my clients tell me I'm very good at what I do, but I just feel so exhausted that I just feel like I don't have the energy to do the other entrepreneur work that I need to do, like go to the entrepreneur events and all that. And so I'm in this predicament on, do I want to continue and all that, because it is just so stressful to be on my own on doing this and doing these jobs. Mainly is just these jobs. Like, I love the outside work of the entrepreneur when it comes to the sales, when it comes to making the videos and the making connections and, you know, talking to all these people and all that. And I love doing the jobs. It's just that it just takes so much of my time. So I have a client that wants me, you know, consistently, and this job is taking straight like 10 or 11 hours, probably more like 10 hours. And it's very hard to have energy for anything else after working 10 hours straight, you know? And so I'm debating about quitting because of how much energy it takes. And I've been thinking a lot lately. I was like, okay, let's say theoretically, if I wanted, like, I don't want this, but I'm just saying, like, if I knew I was going to die in the next few years, would I be doing Unicorn Magic, organizing, and whatnot, and the potential problems that could rise? And I know I can fix them and all that, but it is very stressful. There's just so many factors that I need to think of. And, you know, like, apparently I know that a lot of cleaning and organizing companies have to worry about stealing or breaking or crazy clients. And I've had crazy clients before, and it was very stressful situation. Some of them, to the point I've been like threatened And I was very tempted to quit at one point, but I was like, just move on from this. And then just that some clients are not appreciative. So one job I was working, I think it was a total of a 14-hour job. It wasn't straight, but it was, broken down to 2 days, and she was very unappreciative. And, I understand there are some clients that I'm going to have that, and there's tons of clients that are appreciative of me and love me, but it's just that these jobs are taking so long and taking all of my energy that I question myself, is this what I really want? And I do want my knowledge out and my ideas out, but it's just that it's very hard for me to decide if I want to, because I'm making this a full-time job, and do I want to work 8, 10, 12 hours straight doing a premium clean, and then having to do more entrepreneur work the very next day, or another clean, and then I'm so exhausted for the next clean, and so, or organizing job. And so it's very difficult on what to do. And so I'm in this predicament. Do I want to continue this and whatnot? And if I went and died, let's say in the next few years, what I really want to do is travel around the world. That's always been my dream, is to travel. The question is, how would I come up with the money? And honestly, I thought to go and do that was to make a business and all that, but this business model is very rough and all that. And definitely what I'm passionate is just that, do I even have the energy? Imagine if you're working 10 or 12 hours every single day, and when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a day off normally. Well, you can decide, but it's just that you're losing out on money that you need to go and put into the company. And so you have to be mindful of that, and or else you're just losing it, because the insurance is coming, and then the other things, and then having a social media coordinator. I did have a social media coordinator, and ran into a lot of problems. This is nearly the 3rd month, and she said she's been sick for a very long time, and hasn't helped me with the social media and somewhat of the website. And I'm just a little frustrated on that, because I already paid for half the work, but there isn't even much that's been done. And so, yeah, I'm just very kind of stressed out over it, because I put in so much money